It was light out when we found them, the sun rising slowly in a pale blue sky, casting a warm glow over the fields of sorrow and grief. I remember thinking, how dare the sun rise, as if it were any other day after such a gruesome night. The novel, How Dare the Sun Rise, by Sandra Uwiringiyimana, is dedicated to her little sister Deborah and will resonate with adults as well as high school students. It is a profoundly moving memoir and a remarkable and inspiring story of a girl from the Democratic Republic of Congo who survives a massacre, immigrates to America, and overcomes her trauma through art and activism. Sandra loves Congolese music, and she's the best dancer in her home. Sandra loves soccer and the World Cup, and her favorite team is Brazil. One of her favorite memories is of Kiki, her pet monkey. Kiki was as tall as Sandra's knees and followed her everywhere. Her younger sister, Deborah, loved Kiki too. They would get into banana fights. The story opens with 10-year-old Sandra and her family living in tents in a supposedly UN-protected refugee camp located in Gatamba. Guerrilla rebels attack, wielding weapons, torches, and machetes in the middle of the night. Sandra lives to tell her story. She has endured horrors no one, let alone a 10-year-old child, should ever have to go through. Her mother hides her dying aunt, 2 little cousins, and her sister and herself under a mattress. Sandra thought her life was over when she found herself with a gun pointed to her head, held by a member of a guerrilla group. Remarkably, the rebel didn't pull the trigger, and Sandra escaped into the night. This was after she had just witnessed the gunning down of her mother and sister and relatives. The rebels then set fire to the tents. Her little 6-year-old sister Deborah dies, and her body is never recovered. After picking up the pieces and moving to Rwanda, the family is eventually granted asylum to the U.S. through a United Nations refugee program. Sandra may have crossed an ocean, but there was now a much wider divide she has to overcome. Another ethnic disconnect. Sandra writes on coming to understand how blackness defines her in her new home, but life in America was a different kind of war zone. It was defined by her skin color. In America, the news of Kim Kardashian is more relevant than a massacre in Africa. The so-called American dream was not what Sandra and her family ever imagined. Then something happened in Sandra's history class, and her classmates had an opportunity to understand something about her. They watched Hotel Rwanda, the movie about the bloody Rwandan genocide that left as many as 1 million people dead. As I began to watch it, I became so emotional I had to leave the class. I realized that my classmates cared when they saw the images of human rights abuses and war. They just hadn't been tuned in to what was happening. In her simple language and childlike writing, she provides a voice that will give you a better understanding of the consequences of war in a third world country and the invisibility of the life of the refugee. How Dare the Sun Rise will be published by Harper on April 26, 2017, and it has already received a star review by School Library Journal. This is a timely book as the refugee crisis and immigration is an emotionally charged and social and political issue plaguing our society today.